gotta say, man, 25 years with this character. Every time, more iconic, more iconic. Does that ever play into each time you choose to play it again?
No, I don't really think about the iconic element of it until I have to talk about it. I mean, talking about films is always a kind of a third-person experience. But when I am reminded that I've been in every one of these 5 films over 25 years, I do have to reflect. And I realize that I have a great memory of every one of these films.
What is it about this? Why? Why is it that?
Because they're all really individual films. It's not like in 1988 somebody said, we're going to write 5 stories and you're going to act in them over the next 25 years. It was all, they were all created one at a time. And after we did the very first film, they didn't even have the word sequel. I mean, they had the word sequel, or the sequel to something else, but certainly not to films. Joel Silver and Larry Gordon's company came to me about a year later after the first film and said, you know, we should do another one of these. They didn't say we should do the sequel. I said, well, let's do another one. I said, that's great, let's do another one. And we did another couple of them, and I think somewhere in there, somebody started putting the tag of sequel on it. Yeah. But they're each individual movies. They're all handcrafted at that time, you know, based on a well-written story, and it's just amazing. It's as novel to me as it is to you that one guy could get to be in all these different films over 25 years of time, and seeing myself at the age of 30 and 33, and then I think 40, and then 45, and now 57. It's just, it's a one-of-a-kind kind of deal. I think Mel Gibson has done 5 lethals, right? But it doesn't happen very often.
No, it's really
Harry Potter, maybe. I guess how many did they do with those?
I think 7.
5, 7.
Yeah. Are we gonna see another one?
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd like to do another picture with Jai Courtney, with my son. He's actually a great addition to the Die Hard series. He's got all the right elements. Stubborn, hard-headed, thinks he's right, capable of making mistakes, and he's got a great sense of humor.
First off, what did the name McClane mean to you before getting involved?
Well, you know, John McClane was just, he was an action hero, and, you know, he's the star of the Die Hard films. I mean, that's really all it was. Certainly not someone I dreamt of working alongside. And it really was a dream come true, I guess, to be called up and into this part. It was fantastic, man.
Now, how did you get involved? Because was it through Spartacus, or did you go through the typical auditioning process?
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, my work on Spartacus finished several years ago now, but that really, for me, was the platform to come out to the US for the first time and start auditioning, you know, for the American market and more projects out here. And, you know, I was fortunate enough to work on Jack Reacher. And it was at the end of that film that I learned they were still casting this role. And I'd read months earlier and nothing ever happened, so it wasn't something I was thinking about at all. But it was great to be able to go in again and you know, have another crack at it, I guess. And I was actually boarding a flight back to Australia when I found out they wanted to test me with Bruce and kind of take me through to that next step. So it seemed never ending at one point, but and it was a drawn out evolutionary process, but I just had fun through those sessions with him, and he made it really easy to kind of get in there and get involved, and you know, fortunately enough, it worked out.
That seems kind of terrifying, you know. It's like, oh yeah, you come in, let's talk with Bruce. You're gonna do a scene with Bruce.
Totally, and totally bizarre. I mean, it's yeah, it's always strange when you meet your heroes, or you meet those people that you've seen on screen in dozens of projects, and you know, it's like there's the whole star element for one thing, but then you've got a job to do. You've got your lines to learn. You know, you're in front of producers and the director and people like that. So it's you know, a little daunting, but they made it really easy to kind of just get over that, overcome it, and try and have fun in the room. And he was great like that, very generous, and yeah, we couldn't have had more fun doing this thing together.
And that whole, I gotta say, that whole Chernobyl area, spoilers, I guess, just in case.
Sure.
That must have been disturbing beyond
a little
belief.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it was a set, but
no, you're right, man. And the environment they created out there was kind of it was almost this kind of graveyard of military vehicles, and the art department, man, like what a fantastic job they did. We shot on this location that was kind of creepy to start. It was a Soviet era airstrip, and there was like an old hospital out there and some living barracks, and it had all been kind of run down and decrepit for years. And so, you know, there really is like trees growing through the cement in the ground of these rooms, and, you know, these crazy old swimming pools and stuff. And it was easy to kind of embrace that and endow that atmosphere with the, you know, everything that it was supposed to be.
It seems like you're kind of, with this character, you were definitely stepping into new territory where you could definitely grow. Is that something that you've talked about or thought about?
Yeah, like, you know, I haven't given a whole ton of thought to it. It's you know, it's something we'll just have to wait and see if that happens. You know what I mean? It was just, I just made the most of this opportunity, and that's kind of as far as I'm thinking at this point.